DynamicCarStore.com to get the cars. Icons, legends aiming at the stars. Hursty at checkout to save your points. Now your bank account won't be staying empty. DynamicCarStore.com. Use code Hursty. Go on.
Hey there guys, welcome back to Hursty Games and welcome to another QPR match preview video. Now before I get into this, I do want to wish Neil Warnock, and I think I heard correct in the hearing that there are a couple of Middlesbrough players that were also tested positive for COVID. I want to wish Warnock, and if the players too, a speedy recovery, and I sincerely hope that everyone is on the mend soon. And yeah, much love obviously to Warnock because he's an absolute QPR hero in my opinion. But today we are going to be going through the QPR versus Middlesbrough preview. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the game, give you my predicted starting 11 or the starting 11 I would pick, score prediction, all of this good sort of stuff. We'll talk about Middlesbrough team, but the first thing we're going to talk about is QPR's last game, which was a 3-2 defeat to Coventry. Now, I watched this live over on Developer's channel. He does watch-alongs all the time, and instead of me streaming it, I watched it with him. Absolute hero. Really enjoyed my time over there. Make sure you guys go show Mr. Developer some love. But yeah. The thing I didn't enjoy was the score. Losing 3-2 was not what I either expected or what I wanted. I'll be brutally honest. I thought we'd come away with 3 points, especially after picking up 3 points against a very good Nottingham Forest side in the first game of the season. But we did things nothing like we performed in the game against Forest. We just didn't play a particularly good game. We didn't play particularly well, in my opinion. And I just think we conceded 3 very sloppy goals. Now, all 3 of the goals came from a very close position to the goal. And as much as I think with maybe one of the chances, I think Lumley could have done slightly better. I do think, honestly, the issues were mainly defensive. And the fact that we've allowed 3 separate opportunities, well, more than 3, but conceded from 3 opportunities that were within, like, 10 to 12 yards of the goal. We can't let players get that close to the goal and just expect Lumley to just stop everything, because although obviously your keeper's job is to make saves, if you're allowing on multiple occasions players to be in and around the 6-yard box, you're going to score, you're going to concede. It's just going to happen. So the first one, for people who don't know, cross over the top of the keeper, sort of Lumley's near the middle / front of the post, unmarked man at the back, just literally left him at the back. Honestly, it was Wallace's player. I do think Wallace is at fault for that goal. Just let him head from about 3 yards out, and we concede from that. And then we concede a ball that's just sort of come through. Again, somebody's just walked through defence and scored from about 8 yards out. And then conceded a header from a corner after having 2 consecutive corners before that where they very nearly scored from them. So we just didn't learn our mistakes. We just didn't pick up from the obvious errors we were making in the back, and conceded 3 very similar goals. So it's a real shame. We didn't look anywhere near as good as we did against Forest, and we let Coventry run the tempo of the game. That's what we've got to not do against teams more often. We can't let the other teams run the tempo, because as soon as a team that was working high, they were working with such a high energy. I have to give Coventry credit. I didn't think they'd be able to run that for 90 minutes, and they did, and they smashed it, and they got the 3 points because of it. We can't let teams dictate the energy like that in the tempo of the game, because as soon as they do, and they've got their foot on the gas, and we're slightly off it, you're going to concede. They're just going to run through you, and they did that on 3 occasions. So gutted to get the loss, but we're going to move on. We're going to look at positives. We're going to concentrate on the positives we got from the Forest game. Obviously, still scoring 2 against Coventry as well, which is something. But you know, we've got to stop conceding now. That's the main thing here. And a team like Middlesbrough is a team that we're going to find difficult to play against. I think they're a very physical side, and I do think realistically, that physicality will be a big part of something that we're going to see in this game. Something that's going to be very much concentrated on in the match. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about are the forwards over at Middlesbrough. Britt Sumbalonga, correct me if I'm wrong, Middlesbrough fans, is the captain of Middlesbrough, so I'd be very surprised to not see him play. I do honestly think that he will start in a 2 with either Fletcher or their new signing Akpom, who I think is a very good pickup. I think it's a very suited player to their play style, and I do think he'll do well for them. I'm fairly sure he wasn't in their last squad against Bournemouth. I think he signed, correct me if I'm wrong here again, I think he signed either just before or just after that game, so I'd be very surprised if he played, especially if he signed after. He literally wouldn't have been there, Tom. Smart. But I think they'll play a front 2. I think Fletcher is a player that we haven't seen the best of yet. I do think Fletcher's a very good player, and somebody that I like watching. He's a big physical guy, but he's not slow, and he's not bad with his feet as well. So somebody who's definitely on my radar, people to watch out for and to keep an eye on. But I do think that player too. It'd be interesting to see if Akpom gets any game time though. I don't think he'll start. I think they will start Fletcher, but I think Akpom will probably come on and get some minutes on the pitch. In midfield, they've got two very, very good players that I'm aware of, is on my radar. That's Tavernier and Paddy McNair. I think they're very, very good wingers, or very good players, I should say, honestly. I think they're just good players in that midfield. Again, I think a physical midfield. You've got players like Howson, very, very physical. Marcus Brown isn't one to mess about with. I think they've got some very, very good physical players, and I think the physicality is something they're going to utilise on, but hopefully something we can use to dictate the play when we're on the ball. If we can keep them moving, if we can keep them, chasing the ball, chasing the game, then I think that'll play into our pocket. But if they've got the ball, they're going to be tough to get off it. That's one thing that I'm very, very aware of with Middlesbrough. In the defence, the return of Grant Hall. Those Middlesbrough fans who maybe don't know, I'm not a fan of Grant Hall, purely because of how he's left the club. I can understand parts of it, but it's been a situation where he was the highest earned player at our club captain, a player that we stuck with through 2 long-term injuries, been at the club for about 4 seasons, been injured for at least 2 of them, and obviously we stuck with him, kept his wages up and everything, and we asked him to match the wages of the rest of the squad and take a bit of a cut like majority of the other team did, because he was by far the highest earning player at the club. He said no and then left. And for me, it's a bit of a sucker punch. A club that supported you through 2 long-term injuries and stuck by you and everything, and then when you've returned, made you captain, and to just leave like that, for me, it hurt a little bit. It's a player that I was a big fan of seeing him come back, and somebody that I was still looking forward to seeing playing. But, it's football, sadly, and loyalty in football does seem to be a bit of a dying thing now. We don't see as many loyal players in football now, and I'm gutted to see him go. Obviously, congrats to him and his partner. They've got their little girl, which is apparently a big part of his reason for wanting to move to a team who was going to pay him more. I can understand that. But it doesn't make it any easier to sit here and think, I don't like you now, you've upset me. But it is what it is at the end of the day, isn't it? It is what it is. But they've got some good players. I think Dal Fry and Nathan Wood are 2 good prospect centre-backs coming through. I forgot his name now. I've got the list in front of me. I think it's... I think it might be Spence. It might be Spence. I think I've seen Spence play before and he seems decent. And Dyke Steele is how I'm going to say it. Probably pronounced that wrong. Pretty sure he's pretty quick as well. So they've got a good, solid team. They've got Marcus Bettinelli in on loan. I expect to see him playing. Although Pearce, I think, is a very good keeper as well. I think Pearce has got a lot ahead of him too. So it'll be interesting to see what their lineup is. Middlesbrough fans, let me know down below if there's any players you think that specifically we should look out for as QPR fans, or that you are, are your favourite players, etc. Just to get some interaction. I'd appreciate to hear from you guys as well. But what we'll do now is we'll get into my QPR team. So I'll put the team up on the screen and we'll talk about it. Okay, so this is the starting 11 I would go for against Middlesbrough. I'm keeping Lumley in goal, despite all of the people saying, drop him this, that and the other. For me, I'm keeping Lumley in goal. He's my number 1 keeper. I'm still not wanting to see Kelly in goal particularly. I wouldn't be upset to see Dieng given a chance at some point, but I think it will most likely be in a cup game that he's given a shout, even though we're already out of one of the cups, because it's classic QPR, right? Losing a cup, it's just what we do. But back 4, one change. I've brought in Hämäläinen for Wallace/Manning. Now, I think Manning is on his way out. He was captain of the under-23 team the other day, which was pretty much half of our first team for those who didn't see. Bit of a madness. But by the looks of things, Bright is looking to sign a new contract. Still nothing on Manning. Still nothing about a new contract for Manning, which is a bit of a shame, bit of a stinker. But for me, Hämäläinen, I think, would come in and suit things. Wallace having a not particularly good game against Coventry. Give Hämäläinen a chance. He's been on the cusp of coming into the team for the last couple of years. Going out on loan, by all means, getting some really good loan time, and the clubs he's been loaned at seem to be really happy with him and how he's playing. So I would say give him a chance. What have we got to lose? We've got literally nothing to lose by giving him a shot. Dickey and Barbe keeping their spots at the centre-back positions. For me, by far our best centre-back partnership, and definitely who we need to run together as a centre-back pairing anyway throughout the season. And Ozzy Kakai, the main man himself, obviously staying in. Why on earth would I take Ozzy Kakai out? Absolute beast. Central defensive midfielders, I've gone with Cameron and Amos. I know a lot of people, I was talking to a few people, Hugo, those of you who know Hugo in the chat, was saying last time I should have swapped Amos and Carroll around in the formation. He's probably right, I probably should have done that. Carroll playing deeper as a sort of a ball play midfielder from the back, and Amos is a bit of a sort of utility, running around, doing a lot of running. But for me, with how I've position the team, it makes sense to have Amos a little bit further back. I think In this game against Middlesbrough, I think we need someone who's going to run around a lot, and Amos is going to fit that, definitely. Amos is going to work hard and get back, get forward, all sorts. I wouldn't be upset to see Carroll play there. I also wouldn't be upset to see Dunball play there. A bit of physicality. Dunball and Cameron is a midfield duo. Not entirely sure about the creativity there, but we'd have two very, very solid tacklers in the middle of the park. So it'd be interesting to see if that's the main position there that I'm a little bit unsure of. I happily would have seen Amos play. I wouldn't be upset to see Carroll play, but I just think we need someone who's going to run around a little bit more, and for me, Amos fits that bill, so that's why I've put him in there. A change to the middle three attacking players. I've moved Chair from the left into the middle, kept Bright on the right-hand side, but I brought on Paul Smith. I think it's time for Paul Smith to get some game time. I really think every time he's come on, he's impressed me. He's full of energy. He's closing down players. He's attacking the ball. He's really trying to get himself out there. And for me, it's time to start Paul Smith. I really do think he needs to be on that pitch. Him and Bright Salmon on each wing with the creativity of Ilyas Chair in the middle is just going to cause teams problems. And I seriously think that those three behind Lyndon Dykes will mean goals, and that's what we need to focus on in this game, is getting the goals nice and quickly, nice and early, and then keeping that defence solid. So for me, that midfield three is really, really important, and as I said just then, Lyndon Dykes up top for me 100% all day, every day. I don't see why this team can't run out. I don't see why this team couldn't go out there and play. I think this is a fantastic lineup. I personally, again, would like to see Hammerliner given us some game time, like Paul Smith, and I think Amos is the right choice here to partner Cameron. That's just my opinion. Let me know, QPR fans, down below if there's anything you would change. But the last thing to talk about is a score prediction. Now, this one is a very, very tricky one. Obviously, I've gone and said that we were going to beat Coventry 3-1/2-1. We didn't. We lost 3-2. So I'm going to be a little bit more careful this time. And I'm going to predict a draw. I'm going to predict either a 1-1 or a 2-2. I think there'll be some goals. I prefer a 1-1 than a 2-2 just because, you know, less goals conceded. I think that's something that we've really got to focus on. We know we can score goals. We know we've got the goal scorers. It'd be nice to see Lyndon Dykes score an open play. Obviously, both of his goals so far coming as penalties. I would like to see him score an open play. Obviously, I'm asking a lot here because that means that we need to get these chances, etc., etc. But personally, I think we have got it in us to potentially sneak a win, but it massively depends on, again, like I said before, whether we dictate the play or not. If we let Middlesbrough dictate the tempo of the game, let them get their foot on the ball, then we're going to cause ourselves our own problems. If we can get plenty of time on the ball, make them chase the game, then maybe we've got a chance to tire a few legs out and maybe get a couple of goals and make it like a 2-1. But I'm going to hedge my bets. I am going to say a low scoring draw, either a 1-1 or a 2-2. But that's my video here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Again, Middlesbrough fan, QPR fans, thank you for watching this. Please comment down below, A, thoughts of players to look out for in this game, and B, your score predictions as well. But guys, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this, then please do leave a like on the video. It's greatly appreciated. Make sure you hit that sub button as well. And if you want to be here for the watch along, make sure you turn on notifications to be told when we go live with that live stream. And of course, for other live streams and other videos on the channel as well. But for now, guys, I want to say a massive thank you for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you soon. Look after yourselves, and of course, wash your hands in a bit.
What? Nah, his name is Hursty. Slap bald head, yeah, it'll probably hurt me. Bang top bins, it'll probably hurt you. Ginger, streamer, platform, YouTube. Drop a name in the chat, we'll say hello. Entertain, yeah, you already know. Capital H, yeah, I'm a read it slow. Hursty games, yeah, you already know.